Brought to you by the EveryDollar app. Start budgeting for free today.
Normal is broke and common sense is weird, so we're here to help you transform your life. From the Ramsey Network in the Fairwinds Credit Union studio, this is the Ramsey Show alongside the fabulous Jade Warshaw. I'm Ken Coleman. The phone number is 888-825-5225, 888-825-5225. All right, we're going to get to your calls coming up very soon. Really fun story from my colleague here. You may know her journey. She and Sam, her hubs, paid off $500,000 in debt. She gets you, folks. If you're in debt, she gets you. She really does. Fun story I asked her to share. I've gotten to know her and Sam very well, and so that's coming up. You don't want to miss that. Those of you who are kind of on that edge today, you're going, can I do this? Can I make it?
You can make it.
She's going to tell you how. It's going to be fun. But first, Jack is up in Indianapolis, Indiana. Jack, how can we help today?
Hey guys, thank you so much for taking my call. I bought a RV for $60,000 on a 15-year loan at 18% interest.
Wow, why'd you do that?
I'm realizing how bad of a decision it was. It was to live in, to save up eventually for a house. And I'm realizing, like, the interest is $800 a month.
Ooh,
on just interest.
My goodness.
Only $50 goes to the principal, and I'm realizing it'll be like 16 months before I even scratch the surface under what I borrowed.
Yeah.
So I was wondering, because obviously I want to get out of it now. I started the baby steps. All I had was like $1,000 personal loan, $2,000 personal loan. I had some student loans. I had some credit cards, but I only made $2,000 a month when I bought it, so I don't even know how I got approved for it.
Right.
But I went
subprime.
one by one, and I got rid of everything except for the camper. My income's about $4,000 a month now.
Okay.
So,
where are you living?
I got a job as a truck driver, so in the truck.
Okay. Okay.
Are you okay?
You don't
You don't
sound
sound
okay.
very okay to me. And maybe it's just your voice, but I'm just sensing
I'm really
something.
nervous. I just.
Okay.
Yeah, no, I'm good.
Okay, great.
Okay. So you've got, did I understand correctly when you said you got rid of all the other debt except this RV?
Yeah, everything.
Okay, good.
I did make a little mistake. I know you're supposed to save $1,000 first, and with the first $1,000, I put it towards the debt.
Okay.
But yes, I have my $1,000. Everything else is gone.
Good.
Except for this camper.
And you still owe $60. What's it worth if you were to sell it?
The dealership offered $31.
Oh, Lordy. But what if you were to sell it private sale? Have you looked into that?
I have it listed for $38, and I've been trying to call the show for a couple months now, so I owe $48 on it now.
You owe $48 on it now, and you could sell it for $31?
38.
38.
I just got it listed at.
I have it
Dealer's
listed
31.
for $38.
So you're
Maybe
it's a
$34.
$10,000 deficit there. What keeps you from going down to a credit union or going down to a bank or getting any kind of loan to clear this out? Why don't we do that?
I canceled my credit cards when I removed them, and it brought my credit score down pretty low.
Uh-huh. What about a credit union? Have you gone into a bank to see? Because at this point, here's my thinking on this. My rationale is there's not a worse loan than the one you have. And this is you're going down. You're going from $48,000 of debt to $10,000 of debt. I'm going to take that deal every time. Even if the terms aren't great. Well, yeah, because you're going to knock it out. You make $4,000 a month. You knocked out the other debt. Why can't you knock out this $10,000 of debt very quickly?
That's true. I was because I was trying to rent it as well to see if I could try to get money out of it.
But every moment you wait, it's dropping in value. because you're in such a bad loan, right? The interest alone is $800 a month. So you got time is not on your side, my friend.
Listen, we're coming to you from the Fairwinds Credit Union studio. I'd call our friends at Fairwinds and say, hey, I was just on the show with Jade and Ken, and here's my situation. And I've made progress. Will you guys help me out? And if they can help you out, they will. And to Jade's point, then if we can sell this thing and then they take over the loan for the minimal amount you're going to have left, you can knock that out. So you want to get rid of this because this is a depreciating asset. That's why she's telling you that. You got to get rid of it.
I would only, and for anybody listening who's like, oh, Jay told him to get a loan. She told him to take it out on a credit card. She told him to take a bad loan. We're going down, people. We're going from 48 down to 10. We're not going up. He's not taking a loan to go into debt. He's taking a lesser loan to get out of debt. So that's the difference there for anybody who's trying to clock something that's not there.
Yeah. And now, what is this? Is this truck job? What's your opportunity to make more money than the $4,000 a month?
Well, in the beginning, it was just like that's what I was getting because I was in training. I also do all the services on his trucks because he owns a trucking company, so I do all the mechanic work on them for side money on cash when I am at Indianapolis because it is long haul.
So as we look forward, how much more additional money can you make then than the $4,000?
$4,000 to $6,000 a month, I'd say, take home.
All right. And long term, is this a great opportunity for you to get to the six-figure range?
It seems like it, yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, what's the lesson here that you've learned? You know, because a lot of times we'll teach out of this. I want people to hear from you today because you're sitting in this calling us with a pit in your stomach. So what's the lesson for everybody else?
Don't get the dealership markups. Don't get the warranty stuff. Don't buy new. Like, ask someone older than you. Yeah. I haven't. Yeah. I'm definitely not doing that anymore.
Yeah. How old are you, Jack?
I just turned 20.
20 years of age.
You learned a great lesson at a young age, my friend.
That's awesome.
I wish it didn't cost $60,000.
Yeah.
That's all right, but it's a good lesson to learn. Hey, no one gets out. Few people get out unscathed when you walk into the real world, right? You get out of college, you start your life as an adult. Few, Jack, get out of this without making major mistakes. That's how we learn. And for you, I want you to look at this. Don't look at it as, oh my gosh, my mistake, I ruined my life. Just look at it as some research you did. You did a little bit of research and you found out that buying an RV to live in or buying anything that goes down in value is not a good idea. Now you can stick that in your pocket and keep it as a knowledge base for later.
Yeah, I love it. Makes me think of the old song.
What?
By Ray Charles. Hit the road, Jack, and don't you come back no more, no more, no more. Hit the road, Jack. That's what he's saying to debt.
That's good.
Yeah, come on. Sometimes I think of these old school things. Now, if Rachel were next to me, she'd have no idea what I'm talking about.
I thought you were going to say something totally different.
No, hit the road, Jack. I like it. He got on the road in the 18-wheeler. He's getting after it. He's 20 years of age. He learned his lesson. I love his lessons. He did a great job, America. You heard Jack. And he's going to be okay. He's going to do great. He's only 20 years of age. He learned a big lesson. Now he's on the road to being debt-free.
I love entrepreneurs. Don't forget, guys, I started my company on a card table myself, so I know what it's like to have people counting on you, your team, your family, not to mention your customers. And when you're the one signing the paychecks, you can't afford to fly blind. But I'll be honest, early on, one thing that nearly sunk us was wasting time with spreadsheets that didn't add up because business units didn't talk to each other. I finally told my team, just fix it. And they did. We got NetSuite. That was years ago, and we've never looked back. See, NetSuite isn't just for tech giants. It's built for growing businesses like yours. Over 43,000 businesses already run on NetSuite, including a lot that started just like you. And now, with built-in AI, NetSuite is helping them even more. It's one system connected to every part of your business for real-time insights, not guesswork. NetSuite AI flags inventory issues, cash flow risks, even supplier delays before they become problems. So you can trust the data, stop wasting time, and make the right decisions faster. Take a free product tour today at netsuite.com/Ramsey. That's netsuite.com/Ramsey.
Ken Coleman and Jade Warshaw hanging out with you today. And Jade, Stacey and I, we've gotten to be really good friends with you and Sam. And as we get to know you guys, your story is so powerful. And it occurred to me today that there are a lot of people come in all the time. We have some people that are, baby step one. They're just trying to get $1,000. That's a scramble.
It's tough.
There's some people that are in baby step two, and they're looking at that mountain, and they're just trying to get some momentum. And it just occurred to me that you've got some incredible stories, not the least of which is from the mountain that you climbed.
Yeah.
$500,000. You two went through. We were at dinner recently, and we were talking about some of the crazy things and crazy stories.
Yeah.
So I want just to bring it in, because story is what connects to people.
Right.
Take us to one of maybe the more memorable moments from your journey of paying off that kind of money. What comes to mind?
I mean, if I really think about it, the story that stands out probably most to me is probably that I've had it moment, Ken, because I think we've all been there where you've kind of understood, hey, I need to make some changes with my money. I probably need to get on this plan that Ramsey's talking about. And you start it and you feel like you're doing the thing, but you're still so frustrated, right? How many people have started the Ramsey plan and they kind of feel like they're taking 2 steps forward, 1 step back? Because life hits, right? Yeah. Life hits, the emotions hit, and sometimes you just kind of want to throw up your hands and go, is this going to be worth the trouble? And I remember that, at least for me, I woke up in the morning, and the first thing that woke me up in the morning was my phone buzzing. And when I looked at the number, it was 1-800-PAY-ME, which is what I call the debt collectors. It was a credit card. And, back then I was kind of in avoidance mode. So I just hit the button so that it would go to voicemail. And then 5 minutes later, it buzzed again. And then 10 minutes later, it buzzed again.
Not how you want to start a day.
Well, that was the way I started my days.
Every day.
That was just the way it was, because what I didn't realize, I wasn't doing what the plan taught. I wasn't paying minimum payments on everything and then putting the extra money to the smallest. I was just trying to put all the money on the smallest debt. Right. So I had these bill collectors blowing me up. And it went on throughout the day. And that day, Sam and I had to run an errand. Back then, we were doing a bunch of side hustles. And a lot of times we'd get paid in cash. And then we'd have to take the cash to the bank to deposit it so that we could actually pay our bills. And so that day, we were going to deposit like $300 in cash to the bank so that we could pay our rent. And on the way to the bank, the phone buzzed. And it buzzed again. And it buzzed again. And when I tell you, Ken, I lost it. I lost it. I was like, pull the car over. That's what I told Sam. I said, pull the car over. And he's like, okay. Like, is it me? What did I do? But Sam, he's like, when Jade gets like this, I just need to listen. Right. So he pulled the car over, and I proceeded to just go off. I was like, we've been working this plan. We've been doing everything right. What do we have to show for it? And I was so angry. And the worst part of it was, here we are, I'm going off. We're sitting in our Jeep, which has payments on it. The AC barely works, right? And it's South Florida, so it's hot. Oof. And, the moment you slow down, the AC stops working even more. So we're just sitting in this hot butt car, just, and I'm crying. And Sam is like, oh my gosh, like, what do I do? And I remember I picked up the money that we were supposed to be depositing. And I said, let's just give this to the credit card company so they can stop calling me. It's $300. They wanted like $298. And back then, that felt like the world. I would have done anything to get that money in that moment. But I feel like I was already doing the side hustles. I was already working full time. Like, I was already doing everything. And I was ready to give them my rent money. And Sam was like, we can't do that. He was like, we can't do that. We have to stay the course. We have to do what we know to do. And I remember for like the next 2 hours, we just sat, and it was kind of like we went, after all the emotions subsided, we sat and went through it all with a fine-tooth comb. It was like, what are we missing? What are we missing here? What are we doing wrong? Because it shouldn't feel like this. And that's when we figured out, hey, we're not doing it correct. We're putting all of our money to the smallest debt. We're not paying the minimums first. We don't have $1,000 saved. That's why it feels so tight. That's why we're trying to give them rent money. That's why, and sometimes that's what we have to do when we feel those moments of frustration, like our emotions are taking over. We have to stop and go, what am I missing? And it's almost like you need to do an audit and go back over your behavior, because when you're in this plan, there's so much that we're throwing at you. Save $1,000, do it like this. Stop eating out, stop your withholding, stop your, change your W-4, all that kind of stuff. And it can be hard to remember it all. And before you do it, before you know it, you're missing something. Something's a little bit off, and it's all with the best of intentions. But that's just one of the many ways that our emotions can make us want to give up. They can kind of throw a wrench in the whole thing, and everything just grinds to a halt. And I really care about that because I hear it all the time in calls.
Yeah, I'm going to ask you, from your journey plus the calls that you've sat in thousands of calls.
Man.
All right. What is one of the most prevalent, one of the most obvious emotions that you see in this debt-free journey, getting control of your money? What's an emotion that you see pretty commonly?
I mean, what I just gave an example of would be frustration, but what we hear a lot here on the calls, it's anger. It's that anger of, wait a second, I did everything right. The culture said I'm supposed to, go to college. If I go to college and get a good degree, I'll be successful. So I get a student loan for that because that's what they said to do, and I did it. And then when I graduated, I was told that I could celebrate and get a car loan because that's what you do when you graduate. So I got my car loan, and then I got married and I bought a house. I did everything right. Why am I up to my eyeballs in debt and stress? Or maybe you're a person who, it's kind of like what Dr. John Deloney would say.
Let's please start calling him Johnny Deloney.
Dr. Johnny.
That's funny.
He would say, not by my hand, but in my lap.
Yeah.
And a lot of us are dealing with that. It's like we didn't cause the financial struggle, but here we are left to deal with it. And it makes us mad. I thought the government was going to pay off my student loans. I waited. I did the public service student loan thing. They didn't come in. They didn't hold up their end of the bargain. So there's a lot of things that have caused us to be disenchanted with the whole thing. And that anger is real.
So am I hearing, I think I'm hearing this, correct me if I'm wrong, what you really believe based on your own experience and then coaching a lot of people is that winning with money isn't just about our process. It's also winning with the emotions that come with this process. Is that what
Absolutely.
I'm hearing?
I think
What's
that
the
it
key
is.
to winning though with those emotions? How do you deal with those emotions and stay on track?
You know what I learned? It's endurance. You have to embrace endurance because endurance produces maturity. That's truly what the Bible says.
That's exactly what it
But
says.
I learned that running a marathon. When I ran, and I'm talking about an actual marathon, not a financial marathon.
I can vouch
but
for this.
It's
She's
true.
a warrior princess.
When I said, I want to run this marathon, the first thing that came was, oh my gosh, it's going to be hard. Oh my gosh, it's going to last for 3 months. There's a long time period that you have to embrace. There's discomfort that you have to embrace. I remember midway through training, my Achilles was hurting, my quads were hurting, but you have to run anyway, right? Then you go out there and some days it's raining and the weather's not good and you have to run anyway because if you just follow the process, if you just do the training, you will cross the finish line. That is a given. And millions of people have done it before me. So if I just accept the process, if I can get to a point of acceptance that I have to just endure this thing, a hard thing for a long period of time, I can win. And money is exactly the same way. The conditions are not always going to be favorable. Yeah. There's going to be pain. There's going to be discomfort. You're going to have to do it day after day after day. And sometimes it gets harder before it gets easier. But if you keep going, you will cross your finish line.
So that's a fun example right there of just a smidge of something I know you're very excited about. I'm holding in my hands something really, really cool.
Look at that, Ken Coleman.
It's first of all, it's a fabulous picture of you.
Thank you.
Good grief.
Well, for those listening, it's a book.
Did you do a couple push-ups before they took that picture?
That was after the marathon.
So for those listening, I'm holding in my hands your brand new book. It's called What No One Tells You About Money, the real key to getting unstuck from someone who's been there. And that's just one of the amazing stories. Just real quick, tell folks how they can get this. This is exciting.
Yeah, go to RamseySolutions.com/store. You can pick one up. It's on pre-sale, guys, today. Please If you've ever been stuck, if you've ever wanted to throw up your hands, if you're sick of taking 2 steps forward, 1 step back, if you just need something, you're like, Jade, what can I do? This is the book for you. I'm not just an expert yapping at you. I am your buddy, walking with you, getting knee deep in the emotions with you.
Get it right now, RamseySolutions.com/store. Pre-order and you get $100 plus in free bonus items.
If you've got collectors breathing down your neck and you're drowning in credit card debt, you don't need another debt relief company trying to sell you sunshine and unicorns. You need real help. And Guardian Litigation Group is the real deal. They're not a call center. They're actual attorneys. That means when a creditor tries to sue you, they can step into the courtroom and fight back. Now listen, debt settlement isn't pretty. It's not a magic wand, and I'd prefer you get out of debt the old-fashioned way. But if you're staring down bankruptcy and you've got no other way out, Guardian gives you a path to clean up the mess without paying a dime up front. Guardian's attorneys have helped over 55,000 people across the nation settle over $600 million of debt. So if you're ready to take back control of your life and stop cringing every time the phone rings, go to guardianlit.com/Ramsey. That's guardianlit.com/Ramsey.
Paid endorsement, attorney advertising, Guardian Litigation Group, LLP. Not available in Minnesota and Oregon. Results vary and no specific outcome is guaranteed. Debt settlement may negatively affect credit and not all creditors will negotiate or settle. Savings vary and may be taxable. Please review our website terms for more information.
All right, let's go to Elijah, who's joining us in Oregon. Elijah, how can we help today?
Strong name. I like it.
Hey, man.
How's it going?
Good. Biblical name. That's what everyone always tells me. I'm happy to have it.
Yeah.
That's right. What's going on?
So basically, I'm going to try and tell this story as concisely as possible, but it is kind of a tricky one. So basically, I was engaged to a girl, and we were together for a few months. Engaged for a few months. We were together for over a year. But she started expressing doubts, and ultimately she told me she wanted to end the engagement. Oh, no. And around that time, we found out that we were pregnant together.
Oh, no.
Yeah. So I was adamant about, hey, I think we should really try and stay together for the kids' sake. I think we should follow through with staying together. And so she was open to it for a little while. I moved her into my place. She has 2 kids, so we moved the whole family. But ultimately, I think she just kind of felt trapped being in my place, and she ended up leaving and going back to her place. She got her ex-boyfriend, one of her other kids' fathers, to help her move, and he was kind of helping her out for a week. And and so she left, and I was working on a wildfire at the time, and when I got off, I guess her ex-boyfriend kind of went out of state to go work a job, and so she kind of started reaching back out to me for help. And she doesn't really want to be together, but she's been asking for a lot of financial support, and she hasn't really guaranteed me that I'm going to even get to have like a relationship with with our baby on the way. She's pretty adamant about just wanting to raise her on her own and then just kind of receive child support. And so she's not open to any kind of 50-50 custody or anything like that. And,
oh, wow.
So I wanted to be helpful to her. Obviously, she's the mother of this child, that we created. But it's really hard to not kind of feel like I'm just sort of being taken advantage of. We had kind of agreed on that I would give her a little bit of money out of each paycheck to kind of help her out. She was getting a little bit of child support from her other fathers. But even that, she hasn't really been getting lately because they lost their job. The other one's working under the table.
Do they have? Do her other 2 kids have 2 separate dads? Are there 3 dads total?
Yeah, 2 separate fathers. I would be the 3rd father to have a kid with her. Yeah,
pretty messy
situation.
I hate this that this is happening to you because this is tough, really tough emotionally. Yeah. But man, you've dodged a bullet. I'm not
okay.
No, I mean, I'm saying just you have dodged. This is not a woman that I think you want to settle down with. We've got 2 other dudes, 2 other kids. she is taking advantage of you. She doesn't want you in the picture. She doesn't value you, assuming that everything you're telling us is true.
Let me ask you straight up, Elijah. What did you do? Did you do anything, or are you completely innocent holding a bag? Like, did you do anything to cause this to come to an end?
I mean, I want to try and be as honest as I can. The reason I'm calling you guys is because I feel like what she and I have been doing is like, I'll talk to my people and they'll be like, well, she's taking advantage of you. And then she'll talk to her people and they'll say, well, he's not stepping up as a man or whatever.
Okay.
And so I would say that the main problems, I can tell you what she's expressed what her problems with me were.
Tell me.
A lot of them were just kind of like household issues. Like, it would be stuff like, I would put on an audio Bible at night and accidentally wake her up, and she thought that was inconsiderate.
Not you listening to the Bible. Come on. Wait a minute.
I mean, I think it was more so that it
All right, hold
angel.
on a second. I think everybody knows that I took you at face value.
My Bible
but now
reading
I'm
was too
starting to
loud.
doubt you when you drop the Bible. That's the first thing that she griped about. Are you shooting me straight?
Nothing.
I'm telling you this because that was the night before she left.
How late at night was? Okay, I got to do a follow up. America needs to know this. How late at night was it?
And I don't know. It might have been 10 or 11 or something.
Was she in bed?
It might have been in the middle of the night. It might have been like I woke up to get a glass of water and I was having trouble sleeping or something.
And so you're right next to her. So you're right next to her, listening to the Old Testament. I'd be pissed too.
Really
I don't care if it's the Bible or not. I'm trying to sleep. Go to the living room.
I mean,
but that doesn't sound like. But that doesn't sound like worthy of this.
Yeah, I was trying to get at. Did you do anything? Like, did you cheat? Were you being a jerk in some kind of way?
No,
okay.
Do you
just listen to your Bible too loud?
Arguments, but
all right. Do you not understand?
So it was like, I'm sorry.
Well, I just want to ask you. You laughed when I said it, and I don't mind being laughed at. It happens all the time.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sitting right here.
It really does. Do you not understand what I mean when I say you dodged a relationship bullet here? As hard as this is, and I hate that the custody thing is a thing. I got a lady in the front row. This is a wise woman. I can just see, and she's giving me a thumbs up. Mm-hmm. So that means I'm right, which is rare too. Mm-hmm. You've dodged a bullet, and I share that to say this is painful, this is tough. But I think you need to understand that what you have a responsibility to is child support.
That's right.
So I would, on the fine, let me tie this up in my opinion. And then I got an outlier towards the end here.
Okay.
And I want to get out of the way, let Jade weigh in. But I'll say that I think part of your healing needs to be, I really dodged a bullet here. This is a very complex relationship I was in. It's messy. She does not seem like long-term material to me. I'm not judging, folks. I call balls and strikes, okay? And so we dodged a bullet. That should help you recover a little bit quicker. 2, I'm okay with you continuing to give her the money that you agreed to because you said it was a small amount, and I would keep your word unless she does something that would then morally disqualify her. And you go, well, you didn't keep your word. I'm not keeping mine. Mm-hmm. And then I would wait for the judge to decide.
She continues to ask for more, and she's been spending on things that aren't essential.
That's not your problem.
Tell me what.
Oh, hold on a second. Sorry. Hold on. It's not your problem. I don't care how many times she asks. You give her what you agreed to. Unless she violates the agreement, then you don't have to give her anything. And then I'd wait for the judge to tell you because the judge is going to tell you.
Well, and I want to know what that amount is. What are you giving her now?
It was. I basically went off of what she got child support from her other people, and it was something like $250 to $300 out of every couple weeks, and so it was only $500 a month. But I went back and ultimately I was giving her, because she would continue asking for more, and ultimately it was 2 to 3 times as much as what I ended up giving her. And so I went and I talked to her, and I was just kind of like, hey, I feel like you're asking for a lot more than what we originally agreed on. And so I kind of tried to switch to just can you just let me know when you need groceries or something, and we'll give you specific amounts.
She doesn't have this control over you, man.
I want to jump in here because there is part of this. I want to know more, because the truth is, if you were taking care of, because the child support, obviously it needs to start while she's pregnant because she's carrying the baby. So usually it's based off of a percentage of what you're earning. So likening it to the other guys, I get why you're doing it, but it might not necessarily be fair if you were making more than them and if you were in a situation where you were previously providing more. So there's part of that I want to be fair to the baby and fair to what it actually takes to carry a baby.
Well, we need to get a judge involved in this.
And you need to do that sooner than later. But
not give her any more money. Don't give her any more. until we get a judge involved. You give her what you said you're going to give her. I'm going to take a hard line on that one because she's asking for more, and she's manipulating you, and she's holding that baby over you. I don't like it.
One of the concerns is like obviously just kind of like there's and that's kind of why I wanted to talk to you guys, because obviously there's a lot of emotional parts involved for me. But her two fathers, her only income source is child support. She lives for free on her grandmother's
Another
property,
problem.
but her only income is child support, and so her two fathers basically stop paying child support. So it's kind of like if I'm not supporting her, like nobody is.
Not
So
your
there's a little bit of
problem.
this thing of,
It's not.
but I mean, she's the mother of my child. Like I obviously don't want her to go hungry while she's growing our baby.
I understand that. Your only commitment is whatever the fair and equitable child support number is. If you want to give more than that, you can. But she's manipulating you right now. The very nature of that question is a guy who's been manipulated emotionally. And I get it. You got a good heart. But she will take advantage of this. Her two deadbeat dudes that she got pregnant with the first time, that's her problem and their problem. It's not your problem. This is a country music song is what this is. This entire call is a #1 hit. And I know because we're in Music City. I mean, if you got any musical talent, you might want to write this one. It could really take off.
In the meantime, Elijah, go online and look at just kind of some standards to get an idea. I'm looking here. Standard is usually 17% for one child, 25% for two, 29% for three. I will disagree with my colleague and say her home situation does affect how she's carrying your baby today. So you need to weigh that in. I'm not saying be taken advantage of, but I'm just saying
she's a mess no matter how much money this guy gets.
It's all together. It's all together is all I'm saying.
I get it.
I'm thinking of the baby.
It's a country music song. Somebody write that.
Don't let big grocery bills spoil your holiday plans. Shop at Aldi first. They've got USDA choice meats like beef, pork, and even your turkey, along with fresh produce, holiday desserts, and more. And you'll find all of them at the lowest prices of any national grocery store. A family of 4 can save up to $4,000 a year by shopping at Aldi. You don't need a membership or some loyalty app either. So stop overpaying this holiday season. Go to aldi.us to find a store near you. That's aldi.us.
Savings based on regional analysis of Aldi versus select competitors. Prices may vary by location, product availability, and the market.
All right, let's go to Taylor, who's joining us now in Cleveland, Ohio. Taylor, how can we help today?
Hi there. So my question is, my husband started a side hustle last year doing home inspections. So this is not his full-time career gig. This is just something that he thought would be lucrative, and I think he just really wants to be a business owner, and I appreciate that about him. Mm-hmm. My question is, so we have no debt on the business, praise Jesus. But up front, we spent about $13,000, like for him to go to school, to get his permits, all the equipment he needed. And then every month we're paying like $300-ish for the program that, like the software he uses, our insurance and all of that, like business insurance.
Okay.
So, and obviously home inspections are not super, consistent, like they can, vary every month.
Sure.
So I guess my question is, at what point do we say this business is costing us money every month, it's not making us anything,
it's not profitable at all?
Well, okay, so like I said, it varies. So like this month, he's had no home inspections at all. So we have been paying the $300 on all these things that we need to sustain the business, but haven't made any money.
What about over the life of the
home inspections?
You got to look at it over the life of the business. When did he start it?
He started, so he was off the ground in March.
Okay. And since March, how much you got to look at it as it is. Since March, how much he's brought in? It's just, a balance sheet. How much he's brought in minus how many expenses, and what's the number?
So with the debt of about well, not debt, but what we paid out, about $13,000.
Plus the $300 a month.
He's done about 8 home inspections at roughly like $400 a piece.
Okay. So 32?
Right. And that is all at this point.
Okay. And have you decided at what point the break even should be and at what point he should be profitable? Because here's the thing, if you guys didn't set out what the plan is, then we don't know at what point to pull the trigger, because it's fair to say it's going to take some time to earn a profit, but once he starts turning it, everything after that is profit. So once he makes $13,000 or $14,000 with the $300 a month, then you're profitable. Right. So you guys have to decide
That's
that.
True. Yeah, that's true. I could absolutely see where you're coming from on that.
Are you calling or are you calling on behalf of him? In other words,
no, he's
wondering. I thought so. So if
I am not the risk taker.
Right. So if I run into him today and we don't know about this call, and I say to him, what do you do? And he says, I'm in Cleveland and I've got this job, but then I've got a little home inspection business that I've got going. And I say, well, how do you feel about that? What's he going to say to me in response to that?
He's going to say it's great.
Okay.
And he's going to say, like I said, he's more of the dreamer. So he is like, we just have to wait another month. I just need to be doing this or that, or I need to get, in with a realtor, which in theory, absolutely he does. And I support that.
Yeah.
The problem is, like I mentioned, this is his side gig. So he can't put as much effort into this as he does his full-time career because we also have 2 small children and I work part-time, so we have all these other
a lot
factors.
going on. All right, let me ask another question.
Right.
Do you manage the budget? Are you the nerd that's more in the numbers?
Yeah.
Okay. By the way, and so then the $300 a month, how tight is that from a number standpoint, not from an emotional standpoint? We know the answer. The idea that we're spending $300 a month and it's not ROI and it's driving you nuts.
Driving me crazy.
You're breaking out in hives. I get it.
Yeah.
But I'm talking real numbers. How much does the $300 a month affect you guys?
I mean, it's not like we are trying to rub nickels together here. What I will say, the other factor that's it plays in for me is that his full-time job, he recently left the position that he was in and went somewhere else, and we did take a pay cut there. Mm-hmm. So, and that was his choice, and I was hesitant
how much?
Taking about. So he is making about $10,000 less a year than he was.
And what baby step are you guys on?
So we are completely paid off aside from our house.
Okay, that's great. Can I ask you a question?
And we're 32 and 34.
Okay, so you have time. My question for you, if I were your husband, what's your husband's name? You don't have to say.
It's Eric.
Okay.
It's okay. It's Eric.
If I was
great.
Eric,
love him.
If I was Eric, my question would be, okay, honey, how do you think that because the truth is we've sunk $15,000 into this. My plan was that over time we'd recoup that from the business and then we'd be profitable. Yeah. If we stop the business now, honey, how do you think that we are going to recoup the $15,000?
Okay, so I can tell you the answer to that.
Hit me.
So he's like, well, I can start a mowing company or like a lawn care business.
So it's business after business after business, because he'd have to create a new.
No. Let me tell you what I'd tell Eric. Okay.
No, well,
Eric...
wait. She didn't answer the question. That was how
I'm
Eric.
Gonna answer it for
that's
her.
how Eric would answer. I want to know, how would you answer? I want to know, in your mind, how do you recoup the $15,000 if it's not through the business that was supposed to recoup it?
So I honestly, if it were up to me, I would just say, call it a loss, time to be done. And I would take the money that we were putting towards the business every month and I would be putting it on our house payment. That's just the way. We actually just got our PMI taken off, which saves us about $200 a month for that, which I then in turn have been putting on our principal. Mm-hmm. So I would like to put even more on that if we could, because it's not, like I mentioned, it's not like we're rubbing the nickels together to get this $300 a month.
Got it.
I feel like we would be better suited putting it somewhere else.
On a scale of 1 to 10, what's your risk tolerance? On a scale of 1 to 10.
I'm raising my hand when it's my turn.
Probably like a 2-ish.
There we go.
I'm not. And I know I need to work on that.
Can I go
do.
now? Okay. Here's the deal. I'm trying to set you free. Okay. He wants to do something entrepreneurial.
Yeah.
You guys have already invested the $13,000. Yes, he's slow going, but he's got a lot going on. This is a good man. There's no marital tension here. I'm talking to two responsible people that are on baby step 6. Here's what I think your encouragement would be to him. Hey, babe, how many realtors do we know?
Mm-hmm.
And if we don't know any realtors, who do we know that know any realtors? And this does not take a lot of time. He can carry a full-time job, help you at home with all of his husband and dad duties, and still connect to realtors and go, hey, I've launched a business. If you're looking for somebody reputable, or if you get in a pinch, even though you may have a guy, I can be your guy. And he does this, and this is phone calls on the way to work, phone calls on the way home, phone calls during lunch. This is a simple solution. There's no need for him to stop this business and go to something else. He hasn't given enough time, nor can I say, and it's not a critique, he's just not given enough energy. And so you could say to him, hey, babe, I have a little bit of right here because we're putting $300 a month in, and I'd like this to start to ROI, but I believe in you. And so I think this is what we need to do. And you can say, I called the Ramsey show, blame it on me. I don't care. It's easy because I'm not going to be in the dining room.
Blame it on me too because I agree with you.
Blame it on Jade. Okay, that's why I was chomping at the bit to go, I think you're focused on the wrong thing. And I love I love that you want it to ROI, and it should, but instead of shutting it down,
you got to give it time.
You got to give it time, and don't forget what this is for him. This is a bigger deal to him than what it is to you. And I think I'd let this thing play, but it's okay for you as one half of this marriage to have a voice and to say, I think it should ROI. And babe, here's what I think we do. And by the way, you could go reach out to some realtors.
And it's okay for you who's a 2 on the risk meter to say, I do want to put some sort of timeline on this. That if we get to a certain point and we're still nowhere close to ROIing on this, that we need to consider what comes next. That's fair.
That is 100% fair. And I think that becomes obvious.
Yeah.
It's not for us to decide. But I hope that helps. You're a sweet, sweet, sweet lady and a great wife. Let this thing play out. Let's start recruiting. Let's go find more realtors. The more realtors he's in front of that he gets some type of a deal with, the more inspections he's going to get. The more inspections he gets, the more money he makes, the happier you are when you see that budget every month. And that is what it's all about. Happy wife.
Happy life.
You already know the power of generosity, and the best gifts make an impact now and eternally. That's what Preborn does, and you can trust them to do it well. They don't just offer free ultrasounds. They support pregnancy clinics across the country with ultrasound machines, training, grants, and evangelism tools. They're faithful with each dollar so moms in crisis can see the life in their wombs and hear the truth that brings eternal life. Because here's the thing. When a mom sees her baby on that ultrasound screen, she chooses life 80% of the time. And your gift of just $28 covers the cost of one ultrasound. Or if you're able, you can purchase an ultrasound machine through Preborn and have it placed in one of their clinics so women will choose life for years. Your donation brings hope and truth when mothers feel alone and fear is loud. So I'm asking you to give to Preborn today, even just $28 to provide one ultrasound. Go to preborn.com/Ramsey or call 855-601-2229 because every baby saved is more than a life preserved. It's a life changed. That's preborn.com/Ramsey.
Welcome back to the Ramsey Show in the Fairwinds Credit Union studio. Dayton is joining us now from Vancouver. Dayton, how can we help today?
Hey there, guys. Calling in, I'll make it as brief as I can. It's a bit of a mindset kind of thing. My wife and I, quite a few years ago, we had quite a bit of debt, about $22,000, and we had worked hard to pay that off. And then since then, we've had 3 kids, bought a house, and a lot of things have happened and racked up quite a bit more debt. My mindset question to you is, what are some ways that we can kind of protect ourselves from doing this again? We're just starting the baby steps, and we don't want to get out of debt and then get back into it. There's a lot of shame around like sticking to our budget, like looking at our finances and stuff. So I'm just wondering if you guys can kind of help us with the mindset of getting out and staying out.
So my first question would be, back in the day when you paid off the $22,000, what did it look like to pay that off? Was it painful, or was it kind of like, we're going to do this, and once it was done, it was done?
Initially, it was kind of painful. Like, I can't believe I did this.
Mm-hmm.
Credit card company saw me coming from a mile away at 18.
Mm-hmm.
And then I just worked. I was at a job where I could work tons of overtime. So I pretty much worked 7 days a week, 60, 70 hours a week kind of thing. And we worked through it, and it felt really good when we got out of debt.
Mm-hmm.
But it was a grind getting through it.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
How long did that take?
I was able to pay that off in about 11 months, I think it was.
So without giving us too long of a story, what happened? Because you said, and then things happened and we accumulated debt again. What type of things?
Well, in that window, pretty much right after that, we got married, and then we had our first child, and then we had our second child. And then I did a career change that cost me quite a bit of money to go to school down in Texas. And then we bought a house, and then we had a third child. And, when you buy a house to make it what you want it, you end up spending money thinking that it's going to be okay.
So what kind of career change was this? What are you doing now?
I'm a firefighter now.
And what did that cost you?
It cost me about $20,000 to get into that.
Do you still have a loan on that?
No. So, I guess it's part of one of my line of credits I used to get into that.
And so I'm hearing one of your line of credits, and that's what we did to make the house great for 3 kids?
Yes.
Interesting. Yeah. I'm just thinking about what you're saying. And first off, you haven't paid off the 103 yet, right? So you haven't allowed yourself to go through that process. I'm a person that I think everything is in the process. The first time it took you about 11 months. The truth is the debt wasn't that drastic. It probably was uncomfortable to pay it off, but you were able to do it. I think now, because more is on the line and you're going to feel this one a lot more, because it's you, it's your wife, it's your kids, and you're going to have to change your lifestyle, which you're going to feel that. I have a feeling that this one is going to stick a little bit more. However, you asked, what's the mindset that you need? And I think I hear the mindset that got you into it, and I'll try to give you an idea of the mindset that got you out, that's going to keep you out, which is, I think, Dayton, a lot of times when we're in our life and we've got our money, we start to develop kind of an I deserve mentality. And it doesn't have to be ugly. It's just kind of like, I work hard. I deserve to spend, right? I deserve to spend money on the things that I want. I deserve to have the lifestyle I want. I deserve to have the car and the house I want. After all, I've worked hard. And if we're not careful, that can really, really, really do us in, because that's what's happened to you. You listed it. You're like, well, we had kids, and then I wanted this career, and then I wanted this house. And it's kind of like, what other thing would cause you to go into debt other than the fact that you think you simply deserve to have those things, right? I mean, is that fair enough?
Yeah. I would agree with that.
And then the other side of that, I deserve, is you're also seeing what other people have. And it's like, well, how do they deserve that? I deserve what they have because the people around me have the house, the people around me have the car. And so you're making that comparison, and you're trying to keep up with the things you see. Is that fair enough?
Yeah, to a degree. I mean, like, we don't buy any nice cars. We don't have any car payments or anything like that. It's been, but yeah, totally lifestyle, like wanting to do things with the kids, wanting to make sure they got a nice space, pretty place, that kind of stuff.
And so I think the mentality going out of it, and don't get me wrong, I think coming out of $103,000 of debt is going to change you in a different way than coming out of $22,000 of debt is. But I want you to adapt the mentality of what you truly deserve, which is you truly deserve to have a good night's sleep without debt over your shoulder, right?
Ding, ding, ding.
You deserve to feel good about the money that you earn and that it's enough for your family, and not feel like it's not, because the opposite is what makes you go out to get debt. The opposite is what I'm contributing is not enough. what I'm bringing and earning is not enough, therefore I must, and then you go to all these debt sources. But you deserve to feel good about the life you're providing for your family.
Yeah,
So
Dayton, I want to flip that. She's right, but let's just for a second, let's be real gut level honest with each other, the three of us. What are the emotions you're feeling, the negative emotions attached to this debt and those debt payments and that interest and all the things that you now obviously regret, which is why you called today. And you said, how do I keep from doing this again? What is the most negative emotion? Describe it.
Well, I would say it's like mass amounts of shame because I was in a good position and I've made good money for a lot of years. And I'm back to making good money now. And it was a lot of shame to like look at the finances. I knew they were getting out of hand, but I literally like every time I think to open up the banking app or do my budget, my immediate thing is like, oh, don't do that, man. Like you're just looking your failure in the face, right? So
that's
that
big.
would have been that's how it got out of hand for sure.
How much stress? How much pressure do you feel?
Oh, lots. Like, especially now looking at my new 2-month-old baby and like thinking like, because I'm the sole income earner in our family. Thankfully, my job allows for that. But
what if I
like,
told
if I were to
you?
Get hurt,
what if I told you I could snap my fingers and take away the shame and take away the stress? Well, how would you react to that? I know it's a fantastical question, but how would you feel? How would you feel?
I know it would make me feel a lot better, that's for sure, if I'm not carrying that baggage around, right?
Okay, so my 2 cents on this is the way that you keep from ever doing this again is to, in these moments on a daily basis, remind yourself how awful this feels. And I don't ever want to feel that again. Like that to me, if you talk to somebody who's lost a ton of weight, somebody who beat some type of an addiction, and I've been able to interview people like this, I know people in my personal life, if you trace their story of when they recover, we've heard Dave say this for years on this show and on stages, it's the I had it moment. You've talked about that. You talked about it earlier in the show today. I think you have to bottle this emotion, not to stay with it. And I really want you to focus on getting out of that shame because we all carry shame and it's powerful. But I do think you need to sit with it long enough to go, I don't ever want to feel this again. And it's actually really simple to never get back in this again. You can get out of it. You've done it before. You're going to do it this time. But to never get back in it because I don't ever want to feel that again. And I have total control as to whether or not I ever feel this way again. And I think that will be really helpful. So get your chin up. Walk the baby steps. You can do this. Throw off that coat of shame. You're not a deadbeat. You're not a jerk. You're not a loser. You're not a bad man. You made a bad financial decision. Welcome to the club, pal. You're going to be okay.
Dave, we got a lot of calls on this show where life happens. One day someone's healthy, they're working, providing for their family, and then a curveball hits.
We hear it all the time. A car accident, a cancer diagnosis, a heart attack, and suddenly everything changes.
Yeah, and that's why you've always said that having term life insurance from Xander is essential because it protects your family if the worst happens.
Yeah, that's right. You need 10 to 12 times your income in coverage. No gimmicks. No whole life junk, just straightforward term life protection. But there's another piece that people often overlook, and that's long-term disability insurance.
Yeah, it's important to understand the difference between them. Life insurance steps in when you die. Disability insurance steps in while you're alive but can't work. So it replaces a large part of your income so the bills still get paid while you get back on your feet.
Now, if your employer gives you free disability insurance, great, take it. If it's discounted there at a better price, take it. But if not, Xander can help you find the right plan. Whether you're single or married, it's not optional. If you're going to be out of work for a while, then you need to make sure the money's still showing up.
And that's why Xander is our go-to. They make it super simple to get the right coverage at the best price, no pressure, no upselling.
I've trusted Jeff Xander and Xander Insurance for over 25 years, and so has my family.
So don't wait. It's fast, it's easy, and it could make all the difference. Go to Xander.com or call 800-356-4282.
Protect yourself, protect your income, protect your family.
All right. Ken, when we hear calls like that one where people are dealing with guilt and shame, it is important to know the difference, right? Yeah. When we feel guilt with our money, it's generally kind of like that second stage of buyer's remorse or remorse where we're like, man, I wish I hadn't have done that, and it feels guilty, especially if it's affecting our loved ones. It's not just us. Now our kids are affected. Now our spouse is affected. That's really where we feel a large amount of guilt. But when it crosses that barrier, Ken, of it's not just this thing I did, but now I am the mistake and I'm wearing that mistake as an identity, that's when we get into shame. And that's why that call is tough, because if you're wearing that identity, I am the mistake, I'm the reason we're not getting ahead, I'm the reason that our finances are bad, then going forward, how could you trust yourself? Because in your mind, you've personified yourself as a failure. Yep. It would be very hard to trust your decisions going forward. And so these are the types of things I talk about in my new book that's out now.
That's right.
It's
story, by the way.
Story. What no one tells you about money is just this sort of thing. No one tells you that there is such an emotional struggle going through. Because with that last caller, he understands the baby steps. He's done it before. He knows that, you got to list the debt smallest to largest. But what's blocking him is his emotion. What's blocking him is the shame and the guilt that he's feeling over past mistakes. And he's just the sort of person who needs what no one tells you about money, because I actually walk people through how to get past that. That was something that Sam and I dealt with during our money battle. I know for Sam, there was a lot of shame because most of the student loans came from his end of the equation. And so for him, it was, I'm the reason we can't get ahead. Yeah. And, that aggression can't stand. You have to learn how to forgive yourself and walk through that, because until you forgive yourself, you really cannot go forward.
And I'm glad you mentioned it. We're so excited. Jade's new book, What No One Tells You About Money, is now available for pre-sale. And I love this. We were talking about this earlier. This is not, just another money book. This is real stories from her journey. She and her husband Sam paid off over $500,000 worth of debt, and she focuses on the emotional side of money. That's the idea. What no one tells you about money is what? That it's emotional. Really tough emotionally, even though we give you a tried and true process of the baby steps. That does not mean that you aren't going to have those rough days where you want to quit, where you feel frustrated, like you can't ever get there. It works for everybody else, Dave, but it ain't working for me, Jade.
The plan's only 50% of the equation. I mean, the logic, we can all look at the baby steps and go, yeah, that's logical. That makes sense. Feels practical. But when you start doing it, Ken, is a whole different story. You get waylaid by a whole slew of things that you might be feeling, whether it's frustration, whether you're angry at the system or your mom and dad, or whether you're like the last caller, you're feeling a lot of guilt and shame, or maybe you're just caught up in self-pity. Woe is me.
I got to tell you, if that was me and I wanted to be coached up by somebody who'd actually walk the walk and doesn't just talk the talk, it'd be Jade. Could you imagine Jade training you? Could you imagine? She runs marathons. I mean, look at the guns on the book cover. If you're not watching the show today, you got to go to RamseySolutions.com/store. You can see she's got the guns out, folks. Did you do push-ups before that photo shoot?
I ran a marathon before that photo shoot. I was in tip-top shape, Ken.
I got to tell you,
still am.
My next book cover, I might go sleeveless. We'll see how that goes. I don't know.
I'll let you borrow the tank top, Ken.
That probably would look good.
Your belly button's going to be showing.
That's not a good look for middle-aged guys. Not a good look. Nobody wants to see that. But hey, if you want to get the book, RamseySolutions.com/store. Pre-order now.
Yes.
Pre-order, and you get $100 plus in free bonus items, and you want to get it now. It's the best deal in the book.
I'm doing a book club.
$24.99. You're doing a book club?
If you pre-order, you get a free slot in my book club. Okay. It's 3 weeks, and we're going through it chapter by chapter. So
can I get a friend connection on this?
Or
do I have to buy your book, or can I get a friend spot in the book
No,
club?
Ken, you got to buy the book. Come on, that's just you being a good friend.
That's a good point.
I
just exposed myself as being cheap.
You
know what's going on? I'm starting to act like George. That's a question George would ask because he doesn't want to spend any money. What am I doing? I'm better than that.
Let me tell you what I'm going to do.
I'll get it.
I'm pre-ordering. I'm buying a copy of my own book today.
You are?
Yes, that I have. That's part of it. If I don't buy a copy of my own book, why can I expect anybody else to buy one, Ken?
All right. Well, I'm very excited for you.
I'll be
and
the
you're
first
gonna,
one.
You're going to get some free bonus items. I wanted to tell you that.
That's right. Yeah,
Ramsey
the book club is the big one.
RamseySolutions.com/store. Great book, by the way. There's no money book like this on the planet.
It doesn't exist. I
So
looked.
Go get it. Yes, you did. Brett is up in Charlotte, North Carolina. Brett, how can we help?
Hey, I got a pretty difficult decision to make here in the next 24 hours or so, so I was hoping to get some advice on what I should do.
All right.
So Wednesday, our team, everybody on our team was told that our team was being eliminated and everybody was being laid off.
Oh, my.
Effective today. But they've come back with 2 severance options, and I'm having a tough time picking between the 2.
Okay, give us number 1.
The number 1 is I remain on the company payroll for 60 days. I get my normal check. I have health insurance. All the deductions are normal. Everything stays the same. I just don't have any work responsibilities.
Okay.
The catch to that is that if I become employed anytime during that 60 days, it stops.
Okay.
So I have to let them know, and any further benefits, or pay will cease.
Okay.
So the other option is they'll give me 45 days of salary, and the separation is effective immediately. Like when the money's deposited for the lump sum, that ends the relationship, and so there's no health insurance or no further benefits whatsoever.
So one is all at once, and the other one is over the course of the 60 days.
Correct.
How does for the 45 days, how does that work with insurance? Because that has to play out over time. Like with the
45
benefits.
days, yeah, I asked about that. The insurance stops, pretty much the day the lump sum is deposited in my account.
So no insurance.
I think that's a no-brainer for me.
Okay.
Which way are you leaning?
I'm leaning towards the 60 days because my thought is for if you wanted to, let's pretend you got you start looking for a job immediately, and let's pretend in the next 2 to 3 weeks you land something. You could easily say, here's my start date that I'd like to start. If you felt like your previous job was paying more or there was something beneficial that you were getting from having that additional 60 days play out, or let's say you land a job in the next 3 weeks, you get paid more, the benefits are better. Who cares if this has to turn off? You're in a new job now.
Yeah, that's the question I have, and this may be an unfair question, and if it is, just say, Ken, I don't know, and I get it. Do you have any sense of your ability to land somewhere else fairly quickly?
Yeah, I don't know.
What do you do?
I'm an IT project manager.
Okay. Given that, you got to make a decision pretty quick. I'm with Jade. I'm leaning towards option 1 because that gives you 60 days as normal. It gives you 2 months where life is normal. Mm-hmm. It's already awful enough what you've experienced. And I want to point this out so that you sit with this. We know from psychology studies that losing a job, even being laid off where you didn't do anything wrong, you're part of a massive deal, it is the same emotional equivalent as losing a loved one. So you need to grieve this and know that this is hard. And for that reason, I think I'm going to take the 60 days. I know I got 2 months more of normalcy in the midst of a lot of grief and confusion and fear and all the stress, right? And if I get another job and it stops, that's fine because we're talking about a Band-Aid situation at most. So I'm with Jade on that. I think I'd take stability, but I would act as though you got nothing coming in.
That's right.
Starting tomorrow. Actually, starting today. You know what I mean? Like, I tell the whole world, I just got laid off. There's no shame in that game, by the way. That happens all the time.
Of course. And what's to say you don't get something better, you know?
Yeah, so I'd act as though nothing's coming in starting now. And I think that's what I would do. But sorry, but you're going to be okay. But I'm going to tell you something. Here's what, let me, and I'm not saying this is you, but I've coached thousands of people in my time here at Ramsey on this particular issue. And there is this temptation to feel so bad for yourself that you just get stuck in this rut of, well, nothing's really working. No, I mean, you act as if you are starving and you're thrown out on the street. That's the response.
Finally, mortgage rates have dropped, and you know what that means? People who've been sitting on the sidelines are about to jump back in to the housing market. So if you've been waiting to buy, this could be your window, but you've got to be prepared and do it the Ramsey way. You need to contact Churchill Mortgage. Their Home Buyer Edge program gives you peace of mind in a wild market. You can cap your rate for 90 days, so if rates go up, you're protected. If rates go down, Churchill will drop yours automatically. And get this, Churchill will even back your offer with a $10,000 seller guarantee. So if your loan falls through due to financing, the seller still gets paid. That's how confident Churchill is. Plus, when you shop as a Churchill certified home buyer, it's stronger than pre-approval. It makes you look like a cash buyer, which makes your offer rise to the top. So don't let this moment pass you by. Get ready now. Go to churchillmortgage.com to get started today. That's churchillmortgage.com.
This is a paid advertisement. Homebuyer Edge and Seller Guarantee are available for qualifying borrowers and select loan types only, and not available in all states or locations. NMLS ID 1591. NMLSConsumerAccess.org. Equal Housing Lender.
Our question of the day is sponsored by Y Refi. You didn't take out private student loans hoping to default, but life does happen, and Y Refi isn't going to shame you over this. They're actually going to help you explore a real plan to get back on track. All you got to do is go to yrefi.com/Ramsey to find out more. That's the letter Y, REFY.com/Ramsey. It's not available in all states.
That's right. Today's question comes from Kelly in Colorado. She says, my only debt is $16,000 on a car loan, and then I have about $16,000 in savings. So I have my emergency fund built up. The only thing is I'm scared to death to pay off this car loan because my husband and I would like to potentially look into buying a home. I'm truly scared that if we were to do something like that, something else would pop up. I don't know if I should build up a little bit more money and then tackle it or do it now. Okay, so first, Kelly, I'll give you both sides of it. Let's talk about the baby steps side of it, and then we'll talk about the emotional side. So, Kelly, the baby steps would tell you that if you have debt, you're in baby step 2. All right. You've got, baby step 1, obviously you put $1,000 aside. You got that. You got $16,000. But the baby steps say you're supposed to take everything else aside from the 1,000 and put it on the car and pay it off. So essentially you'd be paying $15,000 on the car if you were really following the steps to a T. And then after that, you would save up 3 to 6 months. And then, and only then, Kelly, would you then start to save up for your down payment for this house. Now, that's a timeline. This is not going to happen overnight, right? This is going to be something that's going to take an extended period of time. So that's when we start getting into the emotional side of this. Whereas Ken and I, we could just tell you, Kelly, here's the steps. Do it. But the truth is, you're going to feel some emotion around that. Number one, you're going to feel the fear of getting rid of your savings because that is a security blanket to you. You feel that. At night, you probably check your bank account balance just to make sure it's still there, right? It feels good to have $16,000 off to the side. Then there's the part of, oh my gosh, Jade, you're telling me that I have to do all of those other things before I buy this house. I want to do it much sooner than that. And so there's a little bit of an emotional pill to swallow there when you realize, wait a second, the thing I thought I was going to maybe be able to do in the next 12 months is actually maybe going to take me closer to 48 months or possibly even longer. So I just want to take a moment and validate that that is absolutely real. And there's part of this where we're asking you, Kelly, to do something that you've never done before and possibly never even seen done before. And there's a lot of fear in that unknown, Ken.
Yeah. Speaking of things that have never been seen before, earlier in the show, I was talking about how in a future book, I might like to, let me see your book. And by the way, if you're watching,
no one tells you about
by
money.
the way, if you're in the lobby and you want to see something special, move back to that screen back there. You're about ready to see something really special. This is Jade's new book. Of course, I've been talking about it, What No One Tells You About Money. And I was talking to her earlier about, look at her guns. And, she's been working out, training for a marathon, all the things. And then I said, maybe my next book, when does it become socially acceptable for a guy to wear a sleeveless shirt on something, formal? Okay. And so James Childs, being the genius that he is, and the crack team back there behind the glass, went to ChatGPT and put me in your tank top on your new book cover. Let's show the audience.
Ken. Ken.
There it is,
You have
folks. I mean, look at those guns.
Listen, the guns are out. That's
Face is a little warped, but the left arm looks a little stronger.
You have a strange way of showing your excitement for my book, Ken.
The teeth look fantastic.
Your teeth looked great.
So it's just fascinating how socially acceptable it is for women to be sleeveless. And you all look lovely. We see it all the time.
Yeah.
TV, out in the town. But a guy goes sleeveless, and you either look like a wannabe or a try too hard.
Yeah, that's true.
Or white trash.
Listen.
So there you go.
It's
I don't know why that is.
Well.
So anyway, I'm sending that to Dave to see what he thinks about a future book cover. See what he thinks about that.
I'm
Should
pretty
be great.
sure the
It's
answer
gonna
is
go
no.
over great.
Hard pass. Hard pass.
You sent that picture to Sam, your husband, and his reply was hilarious. What did he say?
He was like, "This is deeply disturbing."
So good stuff.
You need to keep those weapons concealed.
They're going to stay concealed, folks. These babies are dangerous in all 50 states.
Listen, I don't want to say. I think that picture might have done you a few favors, Ken Coleman.
I'm happily married. Happily married. Elliot is up in Idaho. Elliot, how can we help?
So me and my wife just found out we were pregnant like 3 weeks ago.
Congratulations.
Thanks. And I'm trying to figure out how much we need to save up in the 9 months to be able to pay for it all outright.
Yeah. Yeah. So tell me where you are in the baby steps. Is there debt? Is there not debt? Tell me where you're at.
Yeah, we have a car payment of $5,100, and that is about it.
Wow, $5,100 for the car payment?
Yeah.
No, you mean
is
the
that
total?
the total amount?
Yeah, total.
Oh, okay.
That was the total amount of what we have left.
Got you.
Yeah, the way you said that, America just all did a collective gasp.
I know, that's right. And that's it? Just the car?
Yeah, just the car.
Okay. What do you guys earn?
Combined, a little less than $60,000.
Okay, good. So yeah, during this time, we kind of call this stork mode, which is basically you're pausing any real financial traction that you're making to save up. Every dime that you have, you're saving that up so that when this baby comes, just in case, if you need the money, it's there. Now, obviously, I hope that everything goes off without a hitch, but it is nice to have that money there because many times you do hit the deductible, and it's nice to at least, at the very least, have that insurance deductible there so that, you're not having to come out of pocket last minute for that. Do you know what yours is?
I believe the deductible is $2,500.
Okay, and is that the same as your out-of-pocket max for the year?
Out of pocket is $6,500.
$6,500. So if I were you, that'd probably be somewhere in between those two numbers would be my goal over the next 9 months to save up. And then the good news is, let's say you save up the whole $6,500. The good news is once the baby's born, everything's good. Mom's home, baby's home. You can take that whole amount, throw it towards the car, pay it off just like that. And you got a little something to start your 3 to 6 months off on the right track.
Okay.
Make sense?
Yeah.
Good. Let that sink in.
All right, there you go. All right, let's talk about the emotions, okay?
Nice segue, Ken. Just slap it right in there.
Let's go. Let's talk about the emotions of bringing a child into the world.
Oh, Lord.
You're in the baby steps, right? And this was a very specific question, but just in general, it's been a while, right? But I'm thinking back. I know you've done it. There's something happens, and how do we manage that natural fear of, oh, my gosh, I now have to take care of somebody more than just me and my wife. Because I remember Stacey and I, it's like I never felt like, okay, I've got to take care of Stacey because she was working and I was working. Now I know, obviously we're married. But it's like we were both working, double income, no kids. And the moment when a child comes in, I know as a dude, I feel like the provider muscle starts to flare a little bit more. So A, what you think the common emotion is, and B, how do we make sure we don't overreact and stay calm?
I think, obviously, depending on the person, it's going to be different. I know for me, I can speak from my personal opinion and just personal experience. For me, it was kind of twofold. The idea of bringing a child into the world, and then we had this $500,000 of debt. For me, it was a wake-up call. of I am in a current state of struggle and financial trauma. I was like, I can't bring a child into this. I have to get my act together. Sam, we have to get our act together. We've got to create stability. So for us, it was like lighting a fire under our butt. And then there's also kind of the historical framework. So you think about, what was money like when you were a child? How did you feel? Did you feel like it was a scarcity mentality? Did you feel like it was abundant? Did you feel, and all of that plays into the moment when you find out we're pregnant.
Yeah.
And if you're not careful, it can freeze you dead in your tracks, or you can take that and it can be just the catalyst that you need to get you moving in the right direction, possibly for the first time ever. Yeah. And so that's exactly the type of thing I'm talking about, and what no one tells you about money, how to convert those emotions into fuel to actually help you win.
This show is sponsored by BetterHelp. This time of year can be tough, so make sure you check in on your friends, check in on your loved ones, and reconnect with people you haven't talked to in a while. I recently called one of my childhood friends. We had a great conversation. It was awesome. The conversation was hard, but we also laughed a little bit too. It can take a little courage to just send that message or go grab coffee or even get in the car and drive across the country to reach out with a friend. And reaching out for a therapist can also feel hard, but often it's worth it. And if you're thinking about therapy, I recommend calling my friends at BetterHelp. BetterHelp has over 30,000 therapists. They're the largest online therapy provider in the world, and they've served over 5 million people globally, and they have an average rating of 4.9 stars out of 5. It's totally online, and it's easy to fit into your schedule. To get started, just answer a few simple questions, and BetterHelp will connect you with a licensed therapist, and if it's not the right fit, you can switch therapists at any time for no extra cost. This month, don't wait to reach out. Visit BetterHelp.com/Ramsey to get 10% off your first month. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/Ramsey.
Jade, you know this. I got to tell everybody else. The All New Every Dollar's here.
Hey.
And it's more than just a world-class budgeting app. Okay, so when we say that,
yeah.
I mean, there's a bunch of advanced features, all the things, but I think what's really cool is the real-time help.
That's right.
Talk about that. You're in the weeds.
Ooh, real time. I think the best thing is, the coaching aspect. Not only does it create a plan that's customized for you, but we also have coaching. There's free one-on-one coaching that you can get involved in. There's group coaching that you can get involved in. We do webinars once a month so you can get help from real people. Yes, there's the digital component, but there's also the human component. And I think that's the best of both worlds, baby.
Get Every Dollar for free today in the App Store or Google Play. And it really is fantastic. I mean, the way I like to describe it is, if you've ever been familiar or been a part of or led Financial Peace University, imagine that digital on steroids to the nines.
It's like having one of the personalities in your pocket, like having Ken or I. Ken in your right side pocket, Jade in your left side pocket.
I don't know.
A little scary.
I was getting ready to say, I thought everything was good until that. I think now everybody ran for the hills when you told them I might be in their pocket. We'll let that one go. Trevor's up in Sioux Falls, South Dakota. I've been there before. You ever been to Sioux Falls?
I have not.
It's gorgeous. Falls run right through the town.
Wow.
Trevor is there. Trevor, how can we help?
Hey, guys. My father-in-law wants to gift me his portion of a family business, and I don't know that I want to be partners with the rest of his family without him involved. I don't want to be unappreciative, but I'm...
Sure.
So don't do it.
Do you already work in the family business?
So I manage it.
Okay. And how long have you been part of it?
This is my 4th year.
Okay.
Oh, boy.
And what's his stake? What percentage is he offering you?
He has 25% of it.
Who are the other family members once he's out?
His parents and his brother.
And you work with these folks for 4 years.
Yeah.
You've been behind the curtain. and you don't want it?
I mean, ideally at some point I'd own the whole thing, but I don't know that I want to be involved with them as partners. I
Right.
guess.
And you know your reasons.
Yeah.
And because it's family, I'm not going to ask you to list them because you're calling in at a show. But I guess
right.
my point is that's everything I need to know. Because it'd be one thing if you called and you didn't work in the business and maybe you were just adjacent and you just knew very little. I think I'd be the one that would go, you know what I would do? I would at least go kick the tires, ask a lot of questions. But the fact that you've been running the business for 4 years tells me you have enough evidence, and I don't even need to know your reasons why. And I think in this case, you got to honor your gut. Does that?
It does.
You got any head checks on that?
It does. I do have more questions just based on two things you said.
Go.
Number one is you said I wouldn't want to be in it without him. So I wondered, what is it about your father-in-law that you feel like that brings kind of like stability to the chaos?
Well, I know he's got my best interests in mind. And he's able to kind of push things. Like if we need to make a change of something, he's kind of able to kind of get it pushed past his family, I guess.
So he's kind of an ally. He's an ally, and he kind of knows how to navigate the BS.
What position is he in right now? Or has he been in?
He's recently retired, so he's gotten more involved. But he just kind of helps with the day-to-day stuff as far as just
okay, but I guess my point is so your position is what? What's your title?
So I'm the manager. So I'm kind of in charge of everything, I guess.
Okay, who's above you? Who do you report to?
Basically, I report to my father-in-law.
Yeah, but father-in-law's out.
Once he's gone, who do you report to?
Who does he report to? If he helps get things pushed through, it implies that there's somebody above him. Who is that?
Well, his parents own 50% of it, so I guess they would be the...
Okay, that's 50. He's offering you 25. Where's the other 25?
The brother.
His brother.
Is he involved in the business?
Yeah, he used to be the manager before I got involved.
So 2 other questions then. First question is, the parents, they've got to be aging, right?
Yeah.
So what happens to their cut when they leave, and when are they leaving?
It's supposed to be split between my father-in-law and his brother.
So you would get another 25%. So essentially, at the end of the day, it'd be you owning 50% and your brother and the brother owning 50%. Is that right?
Yeah.
Okay. Then my next question is, what's the business worth?
It's probably over $1 million.
Huh. I was hoping for more. Okay.
Do you have a I have 2 quick questions. One, is it part of your plan to, if I say no now and I just keep doing a good job running the business, that once grandparents are gone and uncle and father-in-law are in charge, and once they age out, that you just inherit it all? At that point, you go, sure, I want it then, but only then? Is that where your head is at? Or do you have another play outside of this?
Yeah. I mean, that's...
Yeah, what?
His parents... If his parents weren't involved and...
the uncle.
And the uncle, yeah, I guess that would be...
Right. But that's a long time from now, at best?
I mean, his parents are in their 80s.
No, I know, but we got to go through another layer.
But
did you mention this to your father-in-law, that you would do it if he were involved, but have you told him this, is my question?
I've kind of, it's been, I mean, we've been talking about this a little bit, so I've kind of brought it up that I don't really want to be involved without him involved.
And is there pressure from him for you to stay involved, or does he go, totally get it, young man, I appreciate that?
Yeah, a little bit.
I gave you 2. I need you to tell me.
The business continue, but he doesn't want to have to. I think he's getting kind of sick of dealing with his family.
Yeah, but I mean, is he pressuring you to stay in it, or is he saying if you don't want it, that's totally fine? That's what I'm asking. A or B?
He's not really pressuring me, but I mean, he knows that I want to be in this long term, I guess.
So you do want to stay in the business long term.
I do, yeah.
Is there a
I
world
don't want to be
where
involved in this.
is there okay?
Parents.
So parents, they're getting older. I gotta believe they're gonna age out of this in the next 5 to 10 years. Is there a world? You said they're 80 in their 80s now.
Yeah.
Maybe even sooner. I mean, only you know that. But is there a world where once the parents come out and you're 50-50 with the brother-in-law, is there a world where you could then buy the brother-in-law out financially? Are you in the position to be able to do that so you can get to a position of ownership faster?
I'm not really in a financial position to do that. No.
Got it.
And are you okay working with the uncle?
No.
I'd prefer not to, no.
There you go.
Okay, so I got to tell you something. I don't think this is worth the wait for
I
you
don't
because it
either.
feels like the uncle's going to be in charge for a good while. Yes?
Yeah.
Okay, then. How old are you?
30.
Okay. You know what I think? I'm not telling you to do this, but this is what Ken would do. I'm not saying this is what you should do. Okay. What I would do is I would tell everybody. You've already told father-in-law. I'd tell uncle-in-law. I'd tell grandma, granddaddy, whatever you call them. Love you guys. I'm going to go a different path.
What about?
I'm out. And here's why. Once you go do your own thing, and the reason I'm telling you to go do your own thing, whatever that is, you go work for somebody else, you go whatever, you just leave the business because you don't want to work with these people. You've already determined that. And you certainly don't want to wait as long as it's going to take for you to get the chance to run it. So go do your own thing. And here's what's going to happen. At some point when uncle's ready, he's got to figure out what he's going to do. And you're probably the best candidate anyway. And so you're a young man, you're 30, I believe you said. I would go another direction and let it come back to me. I know Jade's got something here.
I'm with that. I agree with Ken. I would not stick in it. I have nothing more to add to this.
Yeah, I mean, go west, young man. I think it'll come back to you. But waiting for this is not a good option. And stepping into something you know you don't want to do isn't a good option. So that means there's a far better one somewhere else, and I'd take it. Welcome back to the Ramsey Show in the Fairwinds Credit Union Studios. I'm Ken Coleman. Jade Warshaw is alongside. Colleen is up in Calgary, Alberta. And let's go to Colleen. Colleen, how are you doing today?
Hi, thanks for taking my call.
You bet. What's up?
So my question is, I've been listening for a couple months, and it must be a basic question, but I can't wrap my head around it. So my husband and I, we use our credit cards basically for everything. But we do pay it off every month. We've never carried a balance. I'm really interested in switching to cash only. And my question is, how do you do that so that you'd actually have money left over that you could last the rest of the month to then switch to cash?
Yeah. So you're kind of, you're a month behind essentially because
like just the sole way that they work, you're always like kind of paying a month late.
Yeah. So the best way to do this is to do the budget first. Like, let's do a budget first and let's get in our mind what we honestly need for a month, not going over, not depending on a line of credit. Just what does it take for our household to run realistically? Have you done that yet?
No, we haven't. I've been on my husband to get started with that, though.
Yeah. So, okay, before we get off the call, we'll make sure that Christian gives you the all-new Every Dollar so that you guys tonight can make that first budget, because then you're going to have a starting place of knowing, okay, we need $5,000 a month or we need $6,000, whatever that is. And then from there, I want to ask, do you happen to have any money saved?
Yeah, we do. Like, we could pay it off with our savings. Like, we have a savings we could pay it off.
Okay, so what's on the credit card now?
I was just wondering in general. Yeah, we could do that for sure.
So tell me real numbers. What's on the credit card now and how much do you have saved?
Oh, well, we have probably at least like $30,000 in a savings account that we could just pay it off.
And how much is on the card?
Oh, probably our cards right now are only maybe like $5,000.
Okay, great.
Like we could pay it. I was just not maybe wanting to take it from there and pay it off, and instead just make that switch.
Well, I'm gonna repeat back what you wanted to do, which is you told me that you wanted to stop using the credit cards for monthly payments and just use your money, and then you agreed with me that you're essentially a month behind because that's the way credit cards work. So the only way to get in front of it is to pay off the existing debt. Well, the first step I told you is to make a budget so you know how much money you even need for the next month-to-month budget. Then the second step is now we have to get even. We have to get to zero because we have to pay off the debt. So that's the next thing. You're going to reach over from that $30,000, pay off the debt, and then you're going to be at ground zero. And then now you have the budget going into the month of November, and you say, okay, here's our budget. Now we just use our money that we're going to get paid. That's how this works. Now we can get into the gears of how to set a budget if you want to do that. But that's the first 3 steps to accomplish what you said you wanted to do.
Yeah, no, I have no doubt that we could live off of like our income and what we make. So I guess it is just a matter of getting it paid off so that we're at kind of starting point with no debt with credit card, and then just go from there with the budget.
Now, if you have, I don't know what your income is. What's your income? Because if you can cash flow both, I'm fine with that. If you're like, hey, Jade, I actually make enough this month that I could pay off the credit card and have enough to float November's budget, that'd be pretty awesome too. What do you make?
So yearly combined with my husband, we're probably around $190.
Okay. What does that break down every month? What do you actually bring home? This is why we need the budget.
Yeah, I'm trying to think. Probably like 10 to 12,000.
Okay. So there could be a world where you can cash flow most of this and dip into savings very little. I'm just not sure because I haven't seen your budget. There could be things that are stopping you from it.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
no,
see,
that makes sense. And I think
the answer is super easy, right? I mean, listen, Jade gave you the tactical stuff. But again, I'm going to tell you something. You're going to have to realize that you're making a major change from being responsible. I think you're responsible. You're obviously responsible, okay? But there's a difference, Jade, between being responsible and being strategic.
That's right.
And strategy is what we teach. And so the idea here is that when you know what's in your budget and you know where the money's going and you're telling the money what to do and it's doing something for you, now you're so much further ahead. So it's just a simple, do exactly what she said, but then to get to the next level of, we're not just using credit cards as some loosey-goosey backup and we get these benefits. We're actually being strategic to win with our money. That's a big difference.
I agree. So are you going to do it?
Oh, yeah, I'm 100% on board. And I do think it'll make us a lot more conscious of what we're spending our money on instead of just like swipe the card and pay for whatever.
That's right.
Yeah.
And let me go. I was going to say, let me give you just a little nuts and bolts thing on the budget. I don't know when you get paid, but most people get paid twice a month. Usually like on the 15th and the 30th, right? It's kind of normal.
That's his, and I'm bi-weekly.
Okay. So just a little nuts and bolts thing. Generally, when you're getting on a budget for the first time, the check from the 30th is going to go towards the next month. So for instance, if you got paid yesterday, that check technically should go towards November. So your paychecks that you're budgeting for the current month are from the 30th of the previous month. So the 30th of October will go for your October budget or for your November budget, and your November 15th paycheck will be on your November budget. Does that make sense?
Yep. Yeah, it does. So instead we're just kind of paying for things before instead of after.
That way you always have the money to pay for what you need all 30 days of the month. Because if you let that October 30th check go for October, well, the month's already over. Everything's going to be late. So that's just a little tip. A lot of people get hung up on that.
Okay, awesome. No, that sounds really good.
All right, thank you for the call, Colleen. Yeah, there's a lot of people. We get this question a lot, and it's always fun for people if I'll meet somebody and then they find out I work at Ramsey Solutions, and they'll be like, okay. By the way,
they got to ask the question.
It always drops down.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah. It's like,
it's not a
hey,
secret.
Yeah, I gotta
Okay,
know.
so let me just ask. Like, what's the problem with just, we pay everything and we pay it all.
Yeah.
And it's really fun how that happens. But again, it's less about. I think sometimes we get painted with this brush here at Ramsey Solutions that we're just anti everything, and we're not.
Right.
You know what I mean? It's we're for your money winning.
Yes. And we want you to feel good about it. We want you to feel like you're the one in control.
Yeah.
We don't want you to do the things that we teach because Jade and Ken said so.
Yeah, right.
We want you
Certainly
to do
not.
it because it makes sense to you. You like the idea of peace. You like the idea of freedom and being in control of your money and with your emotions as well.
Yeah, it is always funny to me when somebody goes, okay, I think I get it. And by the way, this call is a great example, by the way, of realizing, this isn't just anti-credit card. There's a bigger strategy at play.
Oh, yeah.
And she's beginning to see it. And the light bulb goes off there as she says,
yes,
I can see how this is going to help us when we know where our money is. And we're going to be even more strategic, more responsible.
Yes.
Cash does that.
And I liked her call because I actually talk about that in the book, What No One Tells You About Money. I go through each baby step and I say what it is, and then I say what it actually feels like and what it actually means.
Oh.
And it's juicy.
Ooh.
It's juicy. Let me tell you, I'm telling you the raw and the real. I don't hold back.
All right. All right, let's talk insurance real quick. Everybody needs it, but you may not need as much as you think, or you may have too much. And you need to find somebody who's a pro. Not somebody that's looking to make a buck off of you, but people who know their stuff and want to take care of you. And you can do that with a Ramsey trusted insurance pro. You're not going to have to deal with all the sleazy, slimy sales crap. And know that we vetted these folks to make sure that they're market experts who are going to take care of you. RamseySolutions.com/coverage is where you go. RamseySolutions.com/coverage. Let's go to Matt in Charleston, South Carolina. Matt, how can we help today?
Hey, how are y'all doing today?
We're doing great. What's going on?
So I recently came into some lottery money.
Whoa!
That's
let's not
juicy.
let's not roll right by that.
Okay.
How much did we win, sir?
So we won right at 200 after taxes. It was 350, and they took
200 is what you take home.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, wow. Was that state lottery?
Yeah, it was a state, kind of a second chance thing they do.
Wow.
That's something. Okay.
You know what? I've never had anybody on the show. Can I ask
I
one
don't
quick
think I have
follow-up?
either.
I've
Yeah.
never taken a lottery call on this show. Was this a random, I'm in the grocery store or I'm at the gas station and I see the ticker and I go, I'm going to shoot my shot?
Yep.
Or are you like a guy who played it all the time?
Well, I was a guy that played it all the time when this kind of happened. I since stopped playing, but like I said, it was a second chance. So you scan a ticket and they put your name in a hat for a second chance, and they luckily drew my name.
Wow.
Dude.
That's so funny.
Okay. All right.
Good
so
luck.
to
That's
the reason
awesome.
you called, what's your question?
All right. So prior to this, I was very not financially savvy. Like I was credit card debt, student debt, personal loans. Essentially, I was working week to week and going down to zero or sometimes negative in my account.
Mm-hmm.
So with this, my plan is to go ahead and pay off all of my debt, which is about $30,000, and potentially put a down payment on a house. My wife's car just broke down, so potentially get her a new car. But what I don't want to do is mess it up and get back to where I was a month ago, week to week, getting down to zero in my account.
Well, let's talk about
How
that
do I-
first. Let's talk about that because you got Jade here to walk you through this. Describe for her what you think was the cause of you being week to week, never having enough there, because that wasn't that long ago.
Mm-hmm.
So presumably we
it
haven't
wasn't.
solved what was going on. So describe
right.
what you think is the source of that.
I think I got credit cards in the mail, and I was like, okay, I can use those, and I just started overspending and not paying attention to my spending.
Okay.
And then, I had other debts that I just kind of just kept piling on. I just was not being responsible.
Understood. What's your income?
I make about $105 a year.
Woo.
Okay.
So it's not like you're scrapping.
And is it just you, or is there a wife, kids, anything?
I just married my wife 2 weeks ago, and we have 3 kids.
3 kids. Okay. And does she work outside the house?
Yeah, she does work.
What's she make?
Roughly 40. I
Okay.
think. Our
So you guys
financials have been separate, but
okay, but they're coming together. I think the key here is you've got to look at what you're bringing home every single month. You've got to look at what you have to spend, what's your margin, and you've got to just give every dollar an assignment. And then that's the practical part. But then the emotional part of actually sticking to it, Ken, is what's going to be your struggle.
Yeah,
because
no
if you
question.
set out and say, hey, we're only spending $150 on restaurants, and you write that on paper, now it's your chance to say, am I going to be the person that keeps the promises to myself, or am I going to be a person that flakes out every single time? Am I going to be a person that I can depend on, that I can depend on me to say what I say I'm going to do, I'm actually going to do? Or are you going to let your emotions lead you and go, well, I work hard, I deserve to go to Applebee's one more time, right?
Right.
That's where the real battle starts. So I love that he asked the question, because as much as Ken and I do know that the $200,000, that is a wonderful thing. You had some good luck, but that is not the solve of the problem. The solve of the problem is Matt deciding that he's going to be a guy who can look in the mirror and trust himself to do what he says he's going to do.
And have a process for doing it.
Yeah.
In other words, if you say, hey, I want to get in shape, put on muscle, cut up, or I want to put on 15 pounds of muscle, or I want to lose 50 pounds of weight, you've got to have a process. You can't just say, I want it to happen and expect it to happen.
Right.
You got to have a process that is attached to a willingness to change. And so I'm going to start with the budget for you. You didn't know what was going on with any of your money. So let's take care of the man. Let's get him in every dollar.
Let's get him in every dollar.
And I think you need to give him what does he do tonight with every dollar to change this around?
Yep. Tonight you sit down with your wife and you put all the numbers in. You're going to put in what you guys earn. You're going to pull up the HR website. You're going to look at your check stubs after taxes. That's the number that you're going to put into the budget. Then you're going to go back and you're going to look at all your bank statements and you're going to put accurate numbers for, okay, we already know, yes, this is our cell phone payment, utilities. We know our mortgage or our rent payment, but what do we really spend on groceries? What do we really spend going out to eat? What do we really spend on gas? And you're going to plug those numbers in so you have an accurate picture of, okay, this is what it takes to run my lifestyle. And then you're going to say, okay, honey, we've got this money that's enough to break us free. It's going to give us a get out of jail free card on this debt, on the car, and it's even going to help us get a down payment. But today we look ourselves in the eye and say, but this is our real income, $150,000, and this is what we get to live on. And we have to be okay with that. We don't have to keep up with anybody else. It's just us. And you guys, you have to kind of, decide that you're both going to do that and that you're both going to hold each other accountable, because trust and believe there's going to be temptations. Obviously, there's always another trip to take. There's always a better car to buy, right? There's always a nicer restaurant to eat at, but you have to be okay with what your lifestyle is. So don't squander this. And I don't think you will if you internalize what we're saying.
Yep. Hang on the line. We're going to get you started in every dollar. Stay tuned into the show. Create some accountability to where you go, okay, I'm now living this. I'm putting in new financial data into my head as opposed to living like everybody else.
And let's talk about that for a minute, Ken.
Okay.
You talked about getting cut, working out, trying to get muscles, whatever the goal is.
Well,
right?
I'm trying to keep up with your book cover. Let's be honest.
You were likening it to getting on a plan with your money.
Yeah.
And a lot of people forget that they've got to set themselves up for success.
Right.
Because if you're trying to get ripped, do you want to know what you don't keep on the counter?
Chips.
Oreos. Halloween candy.
Oh, boy.
All right, listen, I said that, and there is a bowl of Halloween candy on my counter right now at home.
Wait till I get the tax when I get home.
Let me tell you something.
I take a tax on whatever Mrs. Coleman has bought for the little ones that are coming by tonight. Mr. Coleman takes a tax.
Chef snack. That's the chef snack.
I go through it all. I go, I'll have one of these. Thank you very much. But, if I cheat tonight on some candy, as I will, Guess what?
You got to pay for it later.
I'll pay for it tomorrow.
Ooh, don't you pay for it.
So you got to have a process. You know what you do? So the first thing you do is, I'm playing along with you.
Uh-huh.
I'm going to go, all right, I'm going to eat better. So I got to remove the junk, but I also got to put good stuff in my body.
You got to put it there.
And you got to have protein.
You
want to add
make it
muscle,
easy.
you got to have X amount of grams of protein. So it's not just what I eliminate, frivolous spending.
Yes.
It is, watch this, instead of listening to everybody else who's broke, maybe I buy Jade Warshaw's book. Maybe I listen to the Ramsey show 2 or 3 times a week or every day. I'm going to put good money practices, good money philosophy in as well.
That's
That's
right.
like
Make
putting
it
protein
accessible.
in my body in order that the workout, I get the maximum out of it.
I'm with you, Ken.
That's
I'm
what
with you,
I'm
Ken.
saying.
And make it easy. If I put healthy food in the refrigerator, I put it at eye level so I can just grab it. It's the first thing I see. And it's the same thing with this. You need to be setting reminders on your phone to check your every dollar budget. You need to be doing the things that are right there at eye level. Put the podcast. Let that be the first podcast that pops up. Stop unfollow all of the ads and the things that unsubscribe to all the things that are trying to sell you in your email and on social media, and start following people like Ken Coleman and myself. Set yourself up to succeed with money so that when the time comes, it's an easy choice. It's right there in front of you.
You keep preaching like that, I might do an altar call, have a baptismal service right in the studio. By the way, I have gone out to eat with this one and her husband, and she orders the cleanest stuff. Ain't no fun, folks.
I try.
All right, let's go to Megan in Spokane, Washington. Megan, how can we help today?
Hi, thanks for taking my call.
You bet. What's up?
I'm calling because I'm a single mom and I'm in baby step 3B. And so I'm currently only saving up to my match in my retirement, but I live in a really expensive area. And, don't want to move really because it helps to have a lot of community when you're trying to raise a kid on your own. So I'm trying to figure out if I were to really realistically try to buy a house under the Ramsey guidelines, I would probably need a $200,000 down payment.
Yes.
With my current income. And that would take me I'm saving very aggressively. I have a really good living situation right now, but it would take me still probably over 5 years to do that. So I'm kind of wondering, it seems too long to pause my retirement. But then I'm going to be even saving longer if I wait, if I don't pause retirement. So yeah, just kind of wondering what your guys' thoughts are about that. If it would be smarter to pause my retirement and maybe just save what I can and give up having a house, or it feels like it would provide a lot of security to have a house.
You are correct. It does provide security to have a house. You do. I mean, that's the largest line item on your budget. And to have that stabilized is it's a very, very important part of security and wealth building. So you're exactly right.
Yeah.
You're also right on how tough it is to save up a down payment, because gone are the days where you can just say, oh, put 20% down. And, now you're right at 25% of your take home. That math is different now. So in order to make the payment 25% of your take home, in many cases, you're putting down well above 20%. In some cases, you're putting 50 and 60% down in order to make that happen. That's just the reality.
Totally.
So for you, probably what I would do is I would go, when you're in baby step 3B, you do have the opportunity, you have the choice to say, I'm either going to kind of split and I'm going to do some investing and some saving for the down payment, or you can say, I'm just going to go ham on the down payment and get that done. If I were in your shoes, I'd start there. I'd start on not investing. I'd start on everything going to the down payment. And then probably at the 3-year mark is when I would say, okay, I have to start putting something into retirement. And I realize that's going to make me go slower, but hopefully by then there's some change that's happened. Your income has gone up. Maybe your life has changed in a way to where there's more income coming in. But but I want to, if you were here right now, I'd be looking you dead in your eye and validating the fact that it is tough. It's a longer timeline than what people are used to. And it is a lot more money that must be put down on the front end than what people are used to. But I would also tell you, if it makes you feel any better, for my husband and I, we had to wait 10 years to do our house. Mostly for us, because we started out broke and we had to clean up debt. But time is time, right? And the biggest thing I can leave you with is when the day comes and you have the money and you put it down and you move in that house, it's all going to have been worth it.
I'd like to ask.
Yeah, I love having a timeline on that. Like, that feels good to be like, okay,
and I love that.
Years.
I love that Jade acknowledged how tough this is in the current situation. But I'm going to push a little bit because I think sometimes there's more than one way. And certainly waiting longer is fine. It stinks to tell people that, but just because it takes longer doesn't mean that it's still not the best decision. And you've already got a good living situation. How much of a house are we talking about? How much are we looking at? How big is this house and what price point?
I mean, I live in a tiny house right now, so I am definitely not looking for a big house. I'm living in a tiny house that I built. And so I'm...
Oh, an actual tiny house?
I built a tiny house when I was 5 years ago. So I'm living in that house now, and I would be very happy with just even putting my tiny house on a piece of property. But I'm just having a hard time finding a property that I could even put it there.
Well, tell us though, but you've got
not a huge house.
Right, but I just want to have some fun with the numbers for a minute. All right, so based on what you've told us, you've got a number in mind, correct? A price point.
Yeah, well, I'm thinking like the average houses in our area are between like around $400,000.
Okay,
and that's for like a pretty like a small, house.
Okay, so there's nothing in the 300,000 or 250,000 range.
Not that I have seen recently, but that, it could fluctuate a little bit. Like I think it could be possible, like 350 could come up eventually. But that's not like a very common.
How close do you have to be to where you work? What's that situation?
Well, my daughter is in a school, so it's more, I work remotely, which is wonderful. So but my daughter goes to school every day, so I'm driving to town twice a day to get her to
Where
school.
is your tiny house? Are you renting the land or the space?
Yeah, I'm renting the land, basically, yeah. So it's in Coquihalla. I don't know if you
No, I don't know where it is. I guess what I'm saying is that if all I'm doing is encouraging you, not in any way, tisk, you should be doing something different than you're doing. But I certainly will be looking at every opportunity to go, okay, if I could find something that's a little bit cheaper, that shortens my timeline, right? Because it's less I have to save. And I'm now going to incrementally work my way up. And you're actually a prime candidate for that, given the fact that you're in a tiny home. And I also think if I were you and you love the tiny home and you go, hey, if I could find land, I'd get really aggressive in looking for something like that because it might be a lot cheaper than a house.
Yeah, and I could always build a house on it later.
Down the line, that's right. And so let's say you get Go ahead.
Oh, so there's also an opportunity to buy a house that's cheaper because it's with a group that has a deed restriction. And I'm a little bit hesitant to do a deed restriction. It's like you basically don't own the land, you own the house, and then you have to sell it you can't sell it at market value. You have to sell it at
don't
do that.
No,
don't do that.
No,
okay.
No, that you never want to buy something that comes with all these restrictions.
Yeah.
Like I didn't buy anything. I signed up for some deal that has all these problems with it.
And you're not desperate.
Yeah,
that's right.
That's the thing you got to remember. No. You're not desperate. But you are a person who had a timeline and you have a timeline that you want to make. And the hardest part of all of this is readjusting expectations. That's the emotional aspect of this. You know the numbers. I don't think we have to go over that. You understand the benefit of the numbers. But the hardest part is the part of you that's got to go, man, I'm disappointed. This is not going to happen as quickly as I wanted it to.
Yeah, and you're right. I am disappointed. And I'm a little scared. if I'm being honest.
Well, yeah, the fear says, what if I wait too long? What if I'm priced out of the market? What if a lot can happen in the next 5 to 6 years. So there's a fear of the unknown that's there.
And you built your tiny home?
Yeah.
Yourself?
Yes, like with help, obviously. But
that's amazing. So I'm not trying to turn you into Joanna Gaines, but I would also, if you can find something that's not a death trap, that doesn't end up costing you more money, but like with a little bit of love and tenderness, and it's structurally sound. In other words, it's got good bones. That might be a steal for you too, especially being a single mom with one kid. You're used to living, in some little thing. I'm sure it looks amazing, by the way. But I guess my thing is that when I'm in a situation like you're in, and I know that there's a good long-term play and it's going to require patience, then I know, okay, that will win. The tortoise beats the hare every time. All right. However, it never hurts to go, have I looked at everything? Have I turned over every stone? You know what I mean? And I guess that's my only encouragement. Doesn't hurt. You're not going to do anything stupid. You've been very smart to this point. So I'm not saying turn over every crazy stone. Like, I'm glad you brought up the one situation because that could be tempting. No, don't do that where they're going to force you to sell and you don't own the dirt underneath your house. Like, that's not a stone we want to turn over. Or if we turn it over, we see a bug, we go, ooh, and we turn the stone back over and we run. So that's one that you do there. But I would look at everything that you possibly can to see, can I progressively step into something because I'm making good financial decisions along the way.
Yes.
Our scripture of the day is Psalm 37, verses 3 through 4. Trust in the Lord and do good. Dwell in the land and enjoy safe pasture. Take delight in the Lord, and he will give you the desires of your heart. Our quote from Maya Angelou today, I've learned that you shouldn't go through life with a catcher's mitt on both hands.
Ooh.
You need to be able to throw something back.
I love that. I love that.
So fun. We've had, it's interesting, we were just talking with James, our fearless producer. Been a lot of calls today where we've seen the emotional side of money.
Yes.
Talked about, and you and I were talking about this earlier today. There's so much fear.
Yes.
That is involved in money decisions. And you write about the emotional side of money in your new book.
Yeah.
What no one tells you about money, and that is the emotional side, and how very difficult it is to win with money and also process all of the range of emotions that come with money and its rhythm in life.
That's right. We saw it in a couple of calls today. We saw the young lady who she wanted to stop using credit cards, and she had the money in savings to pay off the credit cards and start fresh. But there was fear there. We saw it with the previous caller who was like, I'm afraid I'm never going to be able to buy a house if I keep saving at this rate with the market the way it is. And we've seen it woven throughout other calls as well. And I want to take a moment. I want to read this section out of the book specifically about fear. It says, fear is a negative expectation of the future based on a rational or irrational belief. So if you think about that, some of our fears are totally valid. It's like, this is rational. I could see where that's coming from. Some of them are irrational, but I go on to say, I added the element about the future because if you think about it, fear is rarely about what's happening in the moment. It's really about our perception. It's really about our perceived outcome or what we think is going to happen in the future. If I do this, then some negative thing will happen later. That's what we think. Right. And it's never about what's happening in the moment. We're projecting ahead and going, oh gosh, if I do this, that thing's going to happen out there and we really don't know. And so in the book, I walk through understanding that and taking a moment and just writing out, what is it that you're afraid of? What is it? Write it down. Because when you can look at it staring back at you at the page, it has a whole different life.
Right. It's a great point.
And then you can ask yourself, is this actually true? Is it rational or is it irrational? Yeah. And I have found that the irrational ones they tend to be kind of vague. It's kind of like, oh, I'm afraid I'm going to mess everything up if I do that. Well, that's kind of vague. What do you mean by that? What are you going to mess up? How are you going to pay?
Yeah.
But the more rational ones tend to be a little bit dialed down. Well, Jade, I'm afraid if I take a side hustle, it's going to be when I come home from work in the evenings, which means I won't be able to pick up my kids, which means I'll miss their softball practice, right? And you've really dialed it down. That's probably a little bit more rational, and we can talk about that. Yeah. But once you've written the fear down, once you've asked yourself, is it true or is it not true? Is it rational or is it irrational? Then we can get about the business of landing on, well, what is a more truthful statement that I want to replace that fear with?
Yeah, it's absolutely right. I love it. Just one of the many times that you talk about emotions. By the way, we've told you about it because it goes on pre-sale today. So exciting. What no one tells you about money. You can pre-order it right now. You get it for the best price, $24.99, RamseySolutions.com/store. You get to see Jade's phenomenal arms on the cover as well. That's
it's
bonus.
All about the arms. Forget about the content inside.
Yeah, that comes with the book. That's just bonus. That's just bonus content. For those of you, men and women alike, that would like to have better arms.
That's right.
It will motivate you.
Better arms, better money starts today.
There it is. That's the subtitle of the book. But no, you can get it right now. It's a fabulous book. By the way, we don't have a book like this.
No, we don't.
And there's not a book about the emotional side of money. So this is a great book that I'll tell you just personally is hand in glove with anything else we've ever written on money. Because if you don't understand the emotional side of it, you can and will many times get tripped up because you are a human.
You're right. It is human.
And, we think about human doing, but we forget sometimes that we're actual human beings. Yes. And the human being part makes the human doing part harder. And Jade's come alongside of us and given us a real life story full of stories.
Oh, it's all story
on how to win with it. So you're really going to enjoy it. Go get it now. Ryan is up in Virginia. Ryan, how can we help today?
Well, good afternoon, Ken and Jay. How are you doing today?
We're doing well. What's happening with you?
Well, I seem to be having some decision paralysis, and I was wondering if you could just give me some help. I'm a natural saver, and at the moment I have about $180,000 in cash savings, and I'm just trying to figure out how to best deploy it for retirement, eventually purchasing a home, and just the future.
Okay, so do you have any debt?
Would be helpful. No, debt-free.
All right, so you're familiar with the baby steps?
Yes.
What baby step are you
my
on?
Understanding, I believe 4, 5, and 6.
Okay, so you are actively investing, and this 180 is above and beyond your normal 15% that you're putting into retirement.
Yes. Yeah, currently I have, if I did my math right, about 20% going into retirement through a mandatory retirement with my state, and then a supplementary 403B.
Okay.
Wow.
And what is your emergency fund? Is it 3 months, 4 months, 5 months, 6 months? How much is it?
It's just the 180.
Oh, so the 100.
point.
Okay, so what would be 3 months of your expenses?
3 months of my expenses would be $4,500.
Okay. And is it just you?
It's just me. I'm single.
Okay.
Hold on a second. 3 months expenses is $4,500?
Yeah, I live pretty frugally.
What's your
You live under a rock.
What's your rent? What do you pay for rent?
Yeah, that's about right. At the moment I pay I rent a room from family members, so in addition to monetary blood and sweat. So
okay.
Current rent's about $400.
Okay.
And how much blood and sweat are we giving? Sounds pretty gruesome.
Just enough to keep the household moving.
All right.
So,
who are you living with?
My parents.
Okay.
How old are you?
34.
How much do you make again? What's your take home?
Take home monthly is a little over $4,000.
Hey, bro, you're 34. It's time to flee the nest.
Yeah, what's up with that?
I know. We've talked about it.
Who's we?
I have. Me and my brother. So
is
we're
he
pretty
there too?
open financially. At
How
the house.
old's your brother?
No, now he's 32.
So your brother is like, hey man, it's time, right?
Oh no, he's also on the property. So.
Oh No.
That's what I'm
Okay.
getting at.
Oh,
You
yeah,
got two
we're-
brothers who are still living home. I assume there's no women on the radar
No,
for either one of
there
you,
ain't no
right?
women on the radar.
That is
Huh?
not at the moment.
Didn't
That
think
is,
so.
that is
Do
something I
you
hope
think
to
there
remedy
might
soon.
be a correlation between the fact that you're mid to low 30s living with your brother at your mom and dad's house?
As probably some of it. The other is I'm a homebody. So
Yes, but be a homebody in your own home.
Yeah, okay. Well, it's not a
Okay.
dating show. So regardless of no women
Yep.
being on the screen, you need to be out on your own. So you got
immediately.
$180,000. I'll give it to Jade. We got about a minute and a half with
Yeah.
him. He's got $180 in cash, no debt. He's
Yes.
investing about 20%, Jade.
I know. So here's what I want you to do.
And he's washing the dishes every night. I forgot to mention that.
Thing number one is I want tonight. Your homework tonight is go look and see where you can rent an apartment. Start doing research on places areas of town you want to live in, and find out how much an apartment is. Okay, and then what I want you to do with that information of the
Tell
apartment.
your brother.
Well, yeah. Listen, he's
There's
got
your
his own
roommate
fish
at
to
least.
fry.
Let's get them both out at the same
Now,
time.
for the first time ever, I want you to live on your own.
Yeah, I agree.
You can afford it.
And, I have lived on my own before.
Good. And you're going to do it again. And what I want you to do once you've figured out how much rent is, now I want you to save up a real 3 to 6 months of expenses based off of that number. Because the $400,
Okay.
the $4,500, that's not going to serve you once you move out. So do it based off
No.
the rent numbers of a real place. And then after that, when's move-in date? Because that's really all you need. You've got the money, and then I would turn around and with the money that you have, I would keep it in a high yield savings account, because you're going to keep adding to it, because eventually you're going to go from renting a place to buying your own place. So don't invest it, keep it liquid, because you're going to do that in less than 5 years.
And remember, there's ultimately only one way to financial peace, and that's to walk daily with the Prince of Peace, Christ Jesus.
Got it.